Wasn't it the first?
I believe it was. Yes, October 1st. I apologize for that. Any additions or deletions to the minutes?
Hearing none, Judge, I move we approve the minutes as presented for the Commissioners Court regular session of October the 1st.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner McKim to approve the minutes of October the 1st. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 2, consider and take action to proclaim the week of October 6th through the 12th, 2019 as National 4-H Week in Henderson County.
Good morning, Court.
Good morning.
Morning.
Today, we come before you to present some 4-H members to talk about their 4-H experiences and also to present to you an official proclamation declaring the week of October 6th through the 12th National 4-H Week here in Henderson County. I will turn over the floor to these young ladies, but I would be remiss if I didn't let you all know that our new 4-H agent has started and is on the job and is currently taking some kids to the state fair to do ag product ID today. So she's hit the ground running and wishes she could be here today, but obviously duty calls, and she is supervising those youth at that contest today. So like I said, I would like to let these young ladies talk to you a little bit about their experiences in 4-H and what 4-H means to them.
Hi, I'm Amelia. That might be helpful. Hi, I'm Amelia Abney, and I'm 12 years old. I attend Timber Trails 4-H Club in Malakoff, and this is my 4th year with 4-H. And I just wanted to come up here and tell y'all how much I appreciate you funding 4-H, how much it means to me, and what it's done for me. So this is going to be my 4th year doing the fashion and interior design project, my 3rd year with photography, and my 1st year with Rifle Club. And all of those contests and projects have really taught me 3 main things, and that is they have strengthened my public speaking skills, they have provided opportunities for community service, and they have taught me important life skills. And I'll go through those one by one and tell you a little bit about how 4-H has helped me with each of those. So number 1, strengthen my public speaking skills. That would be more created by public speaking skills, because when I first started, I would not talk in front of a group of people. That was totally inconceivable. And so my 1st year, when my mom found out about the Roundup contest, in which you get up and demonstrate how to do a certain thing or recite poetry or prose, and told me, I think you should do this. And I kind of looked at her and said, no. And so I did. And it wasn't all that fun practicing for it, but when I got up there at district, I won. And I'm not really competitive, but I don't like to lose. And so that taught me, oh, I could do this. I think I will. And that has greatly benefited me. In other contests, I had to do public speaking. I have to do interviews. And so that just helped me a lot. And so I started doing presentations. And actually last year, my club manager called me and said, we need to do a presentation on photography. You're the only one in the club that does photography, and we need you to do something. And when I had first started, I would have said, no, not me. And because I had all that practice and learned all of that, I said yes. And I was able to do a presentation, and I actually got several kids interested in that. So that really showed me the value of all my work. The second thing that 4-H had really helped me with was opportunities for community service. I am homeschooled and I am an only child, and because of that, I don't always have a lot of opportunities to serve in this area. I have a missions business sort of that I run that benefits people in the Middle East, but I really wanted to start giving back to people in our area. And 4-H really opened up a door for me to do that. My first year, I did community service themed by my project, which was clothing and textiles. So I did a clothing drive and donated them to our local thrift store here in Athens, where all the proceeds go to charity. And then I did something similar the next year where I collected textiles and donated them to our local homeless shelter. Last year, I sewed smile bags for Operation Smile. And this year, I am cutting up plastic bags and making yarn out of them. I know it sounds ridiculous. I still think it sounds ridiculous, but it appears to be working. And I am crocheting easy to clean, lice-resistant sleeping mats for those experiencing homelessness in our area. So every year I've ramped up my community service, and that means a lot to me because our community has given me a lot and I want to give back to it. My third point is teaching me important life skills. And when I first started 4-H, my mom sews. And so when I first started 4-H, we were kind of paging through the different projects, and I think I'll do the sewing thing. You can sew. I'll sew for a year. It's not a sewing thing. It's a sewing lifestyle. So I sew now, really. But through 4-H, I have learned to crochet. I have learned to knit. I have learned to quilt. I can do pretty much anything with a sewing machine that I need to do, and I know that's important because I'll be able to mend things. If I see something I like and I want it, I can make it myself and it won't be as expensive. And so that means a lot to me that I'll be more self-sufficient as I grow up. Thank you so much for supporting 4-H. I hope I've shown you how it's directly benefited and impacted me. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cassie Turner. I'm in 8th grade and I've been involved for 4-H for 6 years now. It has been a phenomenal experience, learning new skills, being able to talk to people, meeting new people. Sorry. All these experiences have bettered my understanding of how important it is to be a part of 4-H. All these skills are not just important for today, but I'll be able to carry to college, my first job, my career. It's a very important thing to be able to talk to someone, look them in the eyes, and have confidence while doing so. Many of these skills 4-H offers. In 4-H, I take part in the Henderson County Council where I am a reporter. Being a reporter has taught me so much, like public speaking, teamwork, and many other skills. I'm also take part in the swine show. Swine show teaches you a lot more than you actually think it would. Taking care of this animal for almost a full year teaches you the understanding, responsibility, patience, and all the overwhelming pressure that it brings you. If you don't make the weight, all that time, effort, and money just goes down the drain that you've been working for. All these projects have helped me guided over the years of everything that I've needed to learn, getting me ready for everything that is important in life. It's been a phenomenal experience learning all of this, and I hope to continue learning throughout my years that I continue 4-H. Thank you so much for funding everything. It's been a great experience. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Callie Turner. I'm in 8th grade, and I'm continuing my 6th year in 4-H this year. In 4-H, so my mom started Clover Kids, and I remember going in the back seat of the truck when she drove home that one day. This is when we were in kindergarten. It had this big box of stuff for Clover Kids. Seeing a big box, you think presents, okay, I'm really excited, what is this? And it was Clover Kids, and she joined up to be the leader for that. And I was like, okay, I'll try this. Well, we ended up going all the way through Clover Kids, and she stopped being the leader of Clover Kids so we could go up into 4-H. And I'm gonna say we had no idea what we were doing, but I'm really glad that she did that because this is honestly being the best thing I could have possibly ever been involved in. And I encourage everybody to be a part of 4-H or FFA or anything like this, because this is definitely gonna help me with my future, with my careers, my jobs, college. Honestly, if I wasn't in 4-H, I wouldn't be able to stand right here and talk to y'all. I wouldn't be able to go up, present anything. I would be too scared. It's helped me with my leadership. I've took many leadership classes with my sister, with many other kids. I've made new relationships with people, met new people. It's been phenomenal. I love it, and I would never regret doing this. It's with the swine show, as she was saying. You put so much into something, and you learn to not take for granted anything that you do, and that everything that you do, you put time and effort and patience into it. Even if you don't enjoy it that much, you still know that you need to work hard for it, because there's people that are helping you move on, and there's always people that are supporting you. And you know that all this time, even if it doesn't turn out right, you know that you worked hard for it, and there's always that feeling of, this is what I worked for, and this is how it turned out. You always learn something new, and you always continue to do better the next year. I've been in many projects, some that I am still a part of today, and some that I'm no longer a part of. Most of it's with time, but you learn time management as well in 4-H. With livestock show judging that I've been in I was in last year and I'm continuing this year, I would have never imagined there's so much to an animal. I would have never imagined that you can break something down as much and just look at something and you can name off 50 things about something that you would have never imagined from the past year. Livestock show judging is probably going to help me the most with the career that I'm going to choose in my future. With leadership, I intend on going into business when I'm older. If I wasn't in 4-H, I wouldn't have that much leadership skills that I needed to be able to stand up in front of a group of people and demonstrate something or talk to people. So when my mom brought that box from Clover Kids that one day, I'm so glad that she got us involved in 4-H. So glad that she took time, the opportunity to get us involved in something. Because honestly, 4-H is the best thing that could have ever impacted me and helped me through life. So thank you all for taking y'all's time and listening to us and supporting 4-H.
So, thank you, ladies. Like I said, these young ladies exemplify what it means to be a 4-H'er, and hopefully they're sharing their experiences kind of let you in on how we are helping to make the best better here in Henderson County. At this time, I'll present you with the proclamation. I'll start here with Commissioner Thomas.
Thank you.
Before we take action on this, I would like to say, ladies, outstanding job. Fantastic. You're a breath of fresh air when it comes to seeing what the future can hold and knowing that 4-H is that starting point in all of those lessons and experiences that you've gained here. We're very proud of you, and thank you so much for your efforts. Gentlemen?
I'm not even going to try to follow that up.
I think it was all very well demonstrated by our three speakers this morning concerning public speaking. Because a couple of you, I've seen you speak several years ago, and you were very bashful then, and I didn't see that today. And it's not just because you're in the 8th grade now. It's what 4-H has done for you. I think it's really important to point out. I mean, we criticize the government, but in 1914, the Smith-Lever Act, which brought 4-H recognition to ag extension, was a brilliant move. And then a few years later, it was adopted here in Texas. That makes the numbers work. Rich, in case you're checking my math this morning. As a 4-H member when I was a kid, I know it changed the way I looked at a lot of things as well, just like you've stated this morning. It's a great program. I'm glad that it's still supported by extension. I'm glad that we, as the Commissioners Court, continue to support the program and help the youth of Henderson County.
Of course, I've watched two of these young ladies grow up, and just amazing job. It really refreshes me to see young people get up and speak as well as you did and handle yourselves as well as you've done. I get a little irritated with some of our young people sometimes because they won't look you in the eye and they won't talk to you. And I see leadership and a lot of skills in you girls that really impress me. So thank you very much. Very good thing from my heart today to hear y'all speak. Very nice. Thank y'all.
With that, we'll entertain a motion to proclaim the week of October 6th through the 12th, 2019 as National 4-H Week in Henderson County.
So moved to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner McCann, to make the proclamation of October 6th through the 12th as National 4-H Week. All those in favor? Item passes. Thank you very much, Carolyn.
And you know 4-H clubs were formed in Clark County, Ohio. Just thought the court should know that.
Item 3, consider and discuss the impact of Texas Supreme Court ruling on gas compressor litigation. And with us today, we have Mr. Bill Jackson, our Chief Appraiser, and I'm sorry I've forgotten,
Kurt Sweeney.
Kurt Sweeney.
He's the legal counsel for the appraisal district.
Okay.
Here's,
Thanks, sir.
I know that's real busy on this paper, a lot of numbers, but Kurt will enlighten you. Aren't you glad it's not me?
So well said.
Judge, Commissioners, I've got a fairly complicated situation that I'll try to boil down to something comprehensible in a matter of moments. But in several years ago, we, in the appraisal district industry, have concluded a series of litigation that wound up in the Texas Supreme Court decision that fundamentally changed how we look at appraised values in Texas. It basically means that the legislature can redefine market value any way it chooses. And the upshot of that was the appraisal districts against all the taxing units lost a tremendous amount of value in what was some industrial compressor litigation. This litigation has far-ranging effects. I know I've spoken to several of you about it. It could, since you're not a heavily industrialized county, it probably won't impact you as badly as, say, Chambers County or Jefferson County, but it could mean the loss of a lot of business personal property going forward. Henderson County was scantily affected by the main body of compressor litigation. You lost some taxes, no question about it. However, what we are facing now is a new wave, I call it compressors 2. And that is a couple of entities that actually did protest their values back in 13 through 16, didn't sue. And so we considered that water under the bridge. Now in 17 they sued, that litigation's been wrapped up, you've issued a refund. Now they've come back and said, you know, all those years that we didn't sue you, I think we want our money back anyway. And there is a legal venue that it is arguable that they can get that. We believe that we've got a good argument against it. But the bottom line is they're suing multiple counties across the state, and by no means the most heavily impacted. I've got one desperately small, poor county in Deep East Texas that's looking at refunding $3 million. Wow. What we have concluded here is this incomprehensible series of numbers. If you look on the back page, there's a summary. And this is broken down by jurisdiction. Probably should have made this more presentable, but the first column has the year and the account number is the county. That next column is not rhythm and blues, it's road and bridge. The cornerized an emergency district, the FM college, and then a couple other school districts. On the back page, I assume that the county is responsible not just only for its own taxes, but also road and bridge and the FM. And so, bottom line is the county is looking at a base tax refund, were we to wave the flag on this litigation today, of $58,376. If you add interest to that, for which they are statutorily entitled, it amounts to about 73,574. We bring those two figures to you because I don't know this, but my guess is if we wave the flag today, we could probably get you off with the base tax. But bottom line is, this is the interest calculation. It's an estimate only because the interest is a moving target. It's fairly complicated. It floats with the prime rate, at least for a lot of those years. It's 2 points over prime as of the month that you refund. Our inclination is to fight this. We think we've got some good legal arguments to fight. Most of the counties, appraisal districts, school districts across this state are in fact waving the flag. And we've got about, I don't know, 24 that are choosing to fight. Like I say, I've got one pretty impoverished little county. It doesn't have a lot of options. It doesn't have $3 million. But bottom line is we just want to make you aware of this litigation. What we don't know, and really have very little way of knowing, if any way of knowing, is how many other companies are out there that might claim this. We're not sitting here today or standing here today, we're not aware of any. Maybe there's a dozen, maybe there's none. We frankly just don't know. But that's the predicament that we're in, and I just want to keep you informed. If you probably don't have an agenda posted to take any action. It's not really literally any action that you could take, but to the extent you want to give the appraisal district input on your sentiments, we want you to be informed and be able to do that.
Gentlemen?
13, I see is, do we go back further than that at all?
It does not go back further than that. The statute allows you to go back 5 years,
right.
And they submitted this like in the last days of December of 2018, so that they could catch that.
I got you. Thank you.
Kirk, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Can you give them a little history of how this all came about, how it got created?
Sure.
Kind of briefly how the legislature got this started.
If you bought an automobile in the last 25 years, that we all have, you see this line item called inventory tax on it. What it is back in the 90s, the legislature decided to create a hybrid between the sales tax and the property tax, change the way that we pay tax on automobiles, such that it basically, we pay a little tax on every sale. It's a value-based tax as opposed to a sales tax, but it's still based on every sale. Through the years, the legislature decided that works fairly well and kept expanding the properties to which they applied. Finally, in 2011, they expanded it to leased heavy equipment. The problem with that is they defined the value of leased heavy equipment not on the sales price, but on the leasing price. And the bottom line is it changed market value from market value to essentially 1 month's leasing income. And so that's why I say if you have a $100,000 house, you rent it out for $1,000, well now the value is $1,000. Everyone knows that's ridiculous. But that's the way they phrase the law. And so it effectively reduced the tax on this industrial heavy equipment on the order of 98%. And that too is a moving target. And then the captains of industry, at least some of them, were not too slow to catch on. They figured out, well, if we just lease this heavy equipment, and by the way, if it hums, it's probably heavy equipment. You may think of heavy equipment as bulldozers and graders, but it's the widget factory. It's pretty much anything in any industrial machinery. And so if you just lease this heavy equipment, you can reduce your taxes about 98%. So that's what we're facing.
What about situs?
Situs, and it's another thing. They decided that the situs is not where the compressor or heavy equipment has been sitting for who knows how many decades. It's out of the yard from which it is nominally leased, which might be somewhere else, probably is somewhere else. So not only did you lose 98%, you lose the other 2% too. Unless you're a situs county, which there are only a dozen or so in the state.
How many counties of the 254 are affected by this?
In the original compressor litigation, approximately 84 of the counties were involved in the suit. That's not all of them, because, for example, I had one client in Deep East, Texas that just waved the flag immediately, took $100 million off the road, never fought. As far as how many will ultimately be affected, this is only an intelligent guess, and I'm going to say it's going to be in the area of about 180. The counties that will not be affected are the rural counties in the central portion of the state. And the reason is, even the most rural counties in most of the state have an oil and gas industry. Yeah, but I've ever seen a geological map, there's this hole in the middle of the state that has minerals. Everybody else has minerals. Obviously, you have a gas industry here. And so those counties will not likely be impacted significantly. Every other county will be impacted to some degree.
Kurt, do we know how much it affected the state or statewide?
I have made an estimate that that litigation itself cost the state treasury about $250 million. I think that, and this is also just an intelligent guess, it will reduce the taxable value of the state approximately 6.5%. Which, I mean, that doesn't sound huge, but that's a 6.5% tax increase on the rest of us. Which, I bet you have increased your taxes 6.5%.
Texas relies about 57 or 58% of its total tax revenue comes from property taxes, correct?
Well, I mean, again, that's a moving target. It impacts the state only by the school districts.
Agreed.
But it's huge.
Agreed, but when you take the total tax burden,
Right.
in general, the total tax burden of the state, in the state of Texas is about little less than 60% is property tax.
That is correct.
And they just reduced that burden. And when I say reduced it, they eliminated about 6% of it on the business, on oil and gas industry.
Well, it's more than oil and gas.
Okay.
And again, this is my estimate only, but I did my best to estimate it as truly as possible. And so it's, like I say, it's not just the oil and gas industry, it's the widget factories.
Everybody.
It's the dump trucks. I think, if I'm a captain of the industry, I'm going to figure that out pretty fast. If I just transfer all my heavy equipment to a leasing company, lease it back, I save a lot of money. Now, again, y'all aren't the most heavily industrialized county. I use this illustration. Midland ISD, not exactly one of our state's metropolis, has $12 billion in what we call L2, that's heavy industrial property. Virtually all of it will go away. So that's just what we're facing.
I had one other question, if I may. In looking at your sheet here, as you said, countywide plus interest is $73,000, but that includes all the ISDs and everything, correct?
No, sir. When I say all county, I mean that's the county, ones that the county itself is responsible for. Like it's the county, your tax, your
Road and Bridge tax and FMFC.
Correct. Now, see, for example, La Pointe ISD is the big one.
Yes, it's $56,000.
Well,
yeah, before interest.
Is 180,238.
Yeah. And you went exactly where I was headed. I mean, I think everyone in here needs to realize what an impact this is going to have on the La Pointe ISD, because the Hunt oil fields have already hit peak oil, as T-Bone Pickens predicted. And we see it right here in Henderson County. So basically, if they're going back in time, they're going to base it on all the compressors that were in use earlier. They're not even in use today.
That is correct. And in fact, some of these compressors are not. If you look, there's more accounts in 2013 than there are in some of these later.
My point.
Right.
That's exactly my point. So, as the La Pointe ISD which was here as far as tax revenue is concerned. Over the last 10 years, it's been dropping like this, but at the same time, this litigation is going to come back in and hit them again.
That's correct.
And remove money that they don't have. Or
That is exactly right.
ask them for money that they do not have any longer as a revenue stream.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, this phase of the litigation is only seeking money. We're not talking about going forward, we're talking about going backward and just taking money out of the public utility. Going forward, we've already lost that. What we're looking at now is how much money do we have to go backward and take.
Well, if in taking the pointer, one more question. If we have that situation, as you and I've just discussed, and there is a compressor there that has been turned off for 48 months, and they just haven't bothered removing it.
Right. Going forward, that compressor has zero taxable value.
Who's tracking that?
Well, it's basically an honor system.
I'm sorry, there isn't anything humorous about this, but
Well, in all honesty, I had to deal, I was the person, me and my partner, Ryan James, was the person, or the persons who litigated this primarily at the trial courts. We weren't the ones who litigated at the Supreme Court. Most of them are essentially honest people who are just taking advantage of a legitimate tax law.
well, exactly. It's just something the legislator did, and you know how wonderful it is for them to do this stuff, and you know without looking at the unintended consequences.
There are others who I think are just playing the system, like for example, with some major lessors who, first of all, lease their compressors to one of their own holding companies at a ridiculously sub-market lease, and then that holding company relets it to the consumer gas industry, and guess which leasehold they report the tax on? And so, you know, it's not enough that you reduced it 98%. We could have reduced it another 1.5%.
Sure.
By reporting a fictitious lease. You know, so that is going on. Most of them are just businessmen out there who are taking advantage of the tax laws.
How long do we have to make a decision if we wish to wave the flag or not?
There's no specific deadline, but you know, the longer we wait, the less likely it is that we'll get a no interest deal. Now, as I mentioned, I've got some counties who cannot afford it. I mean, they're just going to have to roll the dice. My plan is to litigate it there first. And my guess is that every other county in the state will simply sit by and wait for that litigation to conclude. That is, every county that chooses not to settle. Again, I don't know that, but that's what happened in the compressor litigation. When, again, my partner and I tried those several cases, we were getting ready to try dozens of them when everybody decided, I think those couple will do. And the rest of them will just sit back and wait it. And it took 3 years, by the way. 4 years from the trial court action to the Supreme Court action.
So we have roughly about a $24,000 exposure
Yep.
waiting.
Well, obviously, the longer you wait, the greater
more.
your exposure. You're accruing 9.5% interest on the 16 taxes. You're accruing prime plus 2 as of the first day of the month you make the refund on the other years. Which, wow, these are just numbers. I mean, they're estimates. I think they're pretty close estimates, but they're just the best thing we can get to give you some parameters on how to make a decision.
Yeah, I mean, for the sake of the public that's here today, you know, as the judge has said, if they waive the penalty and interest, we could get out of this for about $24,000. However, if they don't, we could be looking at $73,000.
Yeah, no, if they waive the P&I on you today, or it's just interest actually, you get out for $58,376.
Oh, we wouldn't go back to the base total plus interest.
That is the base total. That's for the county, the road and bridge, and the FM base total was the 58.
Yeah, I was taking the difference between the all county.
Yeah,
plus-
that's what I was using, the top line as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, again, I apologize, I should have, if I were more creative, I would have made this more readable,
Yeah.
or it isn't my main thing.
So it's $50,000.
Almost 60.
60. That's,
Going up every day.
yeah, 58.
$58,000.
58,
I'm going to step out for a moment, and I'll come back and I'll ask the question again. It'll be 80 then, you know.
Well, it'll be 80 within a matter of 6 months.
Just on the accrual of the interest.
So if we made the decision in the next 60 days to go ahead and settle this, can we settle it in protest and file a lawsuit against them? And therefore, the $80,000 that we pay, we get penalty and interest if the ruling comes back in our favor?
There is not a literal statutory route that you can force that. It is similar to what's called a married
Well,
person.
Supreme Court, if we get a Supreme Court ruling in our favor like they did, it would be the same route, would it not?
It would. I have seen similar things happen. The other side would have to agree. In other words, what you would be doing is you would go ahead and make the refund and agree that by the making of the refund, the interest is frozen and that we still litigate, and, you know, if we win, we get it back.
Exactly.
The other side would have to agree to that. There's not a way we can compel that. I really doubt they'd agree to that. I'm not beyond suggesting it. I have suggested it on other cases.
I would think it would be silly of us not to request that. So it goes on record that we paid it under protest.
Right.
And so the citizens know that we just didn't lay down and take their tax dollars and send it back to help big business.
Right. No,
That's what it's helping.
yeah, you're exactly right.
That's my position. It's not necessarily the position of the whole court.
And
but-
again, I doubt that you have anything posted to take action. This is just information, nor do you literally have an action to take. It's just that obviously Mr. Jackson and any appraisal district I know of is going to start listening very closely to the taxing units when we start talking about playing with their money for this kind of thing. You know, if it was for a $5,000 refund, it wouldn't.
Right. Have you had discussion with the other entities in the county that are affected?
Have not. You're the first one.
Okay.
The appraisal district has set the changes for all those years to your tax assessor collector's office, journal entries. And I don't, obviously that has not come before y'all yet. I don't know if it's scheduled to come before you today or when it's scheduled. But at that time, which y'all can refuse to pay the refund, is the way I see that. You agree?
Oh, we could refuse to pay it, but I think, you know, it has to have serious consideration what it's going to be next year if we lose, and the year after. If this goes on for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, this number that we're looking at, as you said, and by the end of the month, it'll probably be 80,000. It'll be 4 times that.
Not by the end of the month, but certainly within a year, you'll be looking at 80,000.
And if it continues on, we'll be looking at $250,000. How's that?
I think we can wrap it up before you reach the $250,000. Well, maybe not for the whole county. The whole county.
Well, the reason, if my number is off,
Right.
okay, it's not going to be off by much, based on the prime, because we don't know what that's going to be.
That's exactly right.
Okay, and folks, we need to remember, next year we go under the cap. Well, the dome is under the cap at 3.5%. So therefore, we are crunched on how much revenue we can raise, and they want money back for the last however many years. I mean, this is Austin working against county government in every way you can imagine.
I mean, I mean, modify. When you
Put
throw
that
in
on the
ISDs,
Texas
you're
Tribune.
already looking at $250,000.
Say
Thank
again,
you.
I'm sorry.
When you throw in the ISDs, you're already looking at $250,000. It's going to be a while before the county itself is. I would think that, we can certainly wrap up this litigation well before that.
I hope so.
You can, counting on your ISDs, I think you're probably pushing $400,000 before we can wrap up this litigation.
Well, yeah. I mean, La Pointer's at 143 right now.
You can recover, the schools can recover their M&Os. They can't recover their INSs. And that's a moving target too, Commissioner. That's only, when I say that, that is an approximation of reality. But it's the best approximation I can give you right here. They can recover their M&O rate for all those years from the state.
Unless DBA runs out of money.
So to recap, change in law, opening this up was then litigated.
Right.
And after the ruling from the Supreme Court of Texas has placed us in this position that we have today. It started with the legislature, then litigation, and now we're here today.
Right.
Okay.
That's where we are.
Gentlemen, anything else?
And the prime is starting right now. It's running right now.
It is.
Clock's running.
It is the prime as of the first day of the month that the refund is made. So for a long time, it's prime plus 2. For a long time, that was 5.25% prime plus 2. Now, of course, who knows what's happening? Iran attacks Saudi Arabia and the prime goes down.
Okay. Once you've made contact with the other entities, we would like to know kind of what their take is on this. Kind of get our heads together.
Certainly keep you informed.
Exactly.
All right.
Sure appreciate you coming today.
Thank you.
It is my pleasure, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 4, consider and take action on 2019 Henderson County Appraisal District Amended Operating Budget. Bill?
Please don't let the past discussion have an effect on your wage.
Bill?
This is the amount that's being amended for 2019. This money's left over from the 2018 budget. There's no additional cost to the county or any other entity. It goes toward litigation costs and capital improvement. So anyway, that's any questions?
Comments, questions?
Was there a software you were updating also?
We're looking at that too.
Okay.
But this won't have an effect on it.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments?
No, I have no comments.
Commissioner?
I'll move to approve.
Have a motion?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner Thomas to approve the 2019 amended budget, operating budget for Henderson County Appraisal District. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 5, consider and take action authorizing up to $300 for healthy snacks from the Healthy County Fund for the Healthy County Health Fair.
Good morning, Court. I come to you this morning to ask to be able to spend up to $300 for healthy snacks. Would be bottled water, fruit trays, veggie trays, Kind bars, things like that for Healthy County Fair next Wednesday on the 16th.
Questions, comments? This is for the public that does not understand it or is not familiar with the Healthy County Fund. That money is derived from where?
Our Healthy County Fund is from our vending machines intake.
No, it's our refund.
Sorry.
Our insurance refund.
Sorry, our insurance refund.
Our insurance refund. It is the funds that the employees are rewarded with for participating in Healthy County activities.
There we go.
The more that participate, the
And
more
the-
snacks.
Yes.
And those funds come from TAC or Blue Cross Blue Shield?
TAC.
From TAC.
Yes.
And we need to encourage all our employees to participate
we are-
next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
October 16th.
October 16th from 9 to 4 here in this
It's
room.
very important.
Yes,
Yes.
very, very important.
And then when
What
we,
is it, a come and go?
It is a come and go. I had Angie send out the countywide communication about the Arosty to set up the appointments. Other than that, it's come and go.
so I guess, Anne Marie, when you look at it differently, TAC, of course, is the Texas Association of County, which is a nonprofit entity, and we pay money, the county pays money to TAC for health insurance, and so do the employees. So basically, the funds that come back for the participation of our employees, it's about a 60-40 match of money coming back that the employees haven't put into their health insurance as well as the county. So it's not just, no way it could be construed that it was taxpayers' money.
No, right.
A very small percentage, I guess you could, but it's very small.
Any other
Because
comment?
I've had people ask, well, you know, you treat this like, but it's taxpayers' money. Well, it actually isn't.
Any additional comments? Entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we authorize $300 for healthy snacks from the Healthy County Fund for the Healthy County Health Fair next Wednesday, October 16th.
Well, there you go.
Wait.
Motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner McCam. All those in favor? Item passes.
Thank you, Clerk.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 6, consider and take action on the FY 2020 Indigent Defense Commission Formula Grant Resolution. Letitia.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm in the process of applying for the Texas Defense Grant, and it is required that I have a resolution from the court.
Questions? Do we know what the formula is going to look like this year? They adjust it from year to year or every biennium?
What I got, the legislative update is supposed to increase.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion with the judge's authorization to sign.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Thomas, to approve the Indigent Defense Grant Program Resolution. All those, with the judge's authorization to sign. All those in favor? Item passes. Thank you, ma'am. Item 7, consider and take action on termination of contract with GovPay for receiving credit and debit cards in the tax office. Anne Marie, or we have representatives from the tax office with us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We want to terminate our policy, our contract with GovPay due to their prices. They have a $3 minimum if you use your credit or debit card. And the new company we want to go to is Certified Payments, which the adult probation and the district clerk office is already using them, and they have a $1 minimum, and their percentage is 2.35, where GovPay is 2.65. So it would lower it considerably for the.
Is there still a charge for debit cards?
Yes, sir. It's a service, because of course, you know, we can't make money, so it's a service we offer.
Is that certified payments the same one we're using for JPs, isn't it? So that would put certified payments as the universal provider of credit card, debit card services throughout the county. Okay. We talked about doing this at the time we went. Yeah.
Commissioner, we're not changing the credit card service with the property tax, because that's through net data. So they do offer it, but NetData puts all of ours in a batch where we can just post it, just not have to hand key it. So we would still be using NetData for property tax.
So on property tax, what is net data charging? They're using some other.
3.25%.
That's what I thought.
Yes, yes.
So
They
this
don't
isn't-
have a minimum, though.
I think not at 3.25% on a debit card.
So what I'm hearing, there's two payment methods going to be operated in the office?
There is now.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Which sounds like we were using GovPay and NetData at the same time. Okay.
Yes.
We're continuing
So
with two.
we currently have 3 different payment systems. Certified payments, which is at the JP offices, district clerk, and CSCD, and NetData, and GovPay. Those are the 3 we currently have. GovPay will go away, and we'll only have 2 credit card payment firms, which is NetData and
So
certified
no one
payments.
else uses GovPay? That's the only?
Just us.
Just you, okay. That's what I understood. And there's a 30-day termination on the contract.
Yes. And certified payment needs 5 days to get us up and going, so
5 days.
I want to be able to, when they terminate, to start with, so there's no downtime.
And we have a contract.
No contract. They said that they're not required to get a contract, and I checked with the district clerk and the adult probation, and they said that is correct. No. They don't have one. Yes, no contract.
Any other discussion?
I have nothing else, Joe.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to terminate the contract with GovPay.
I'll second this motion, Judge.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Thomas, to terminate contract with GovPay for payments in Henderson County Tax Office. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 8, consider and take action to approve the transfer of 3 Dyno Label Printers, a toolbox, a tool bag, tools, and a Canon printer from surplus inventory to the county attorney's office and the maintenance department. Anyone from purchasing?
Oh, here we go.
As y'all know, I'm just moving stuff into surplus from multiple departments. So you're going to be seeing these every once in a while, but hopefully not too often. But we're just moving some stuff to maintenance that they could use instead of it just sitting or being auctioned to save them from having to purchase equipment.
How many Dymos do we have left?
5. Yeah, 5. We're trying.
So there's a toolbox and a tool bag and tools that needs to go to the maintenance department.
Yes, and a printer.
I got you.
Any other comments? Entertain a motion.
So I move to approve, Judge.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner McCam, to approve the transfer of the aforestated items. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 9, consider and take action pursuant to Texas Transportation Code, Chapter 251.005 concerning annual road reports. For those not familiar with this, annual road reports has been statutorily required for a number of years. It has been in recent years that the state has tied grant funding to these reports, and the county has been fulfilling this obligation for, as I can remember, 7 years when the CTERS came out? Something like that.
Something like that, 6 or 7.
And this is a continuance of that. The legislature passed a grant program in the last session, of course, wishing to continue this process. So once we enter into the minutes, that's basically what this is for, is that it's entered into the minutes. We must transmit it on to the grand jury for the second phase according to statute. So, gentlemen, any thoughts, questions? Comments?
It is 7.
If not, entertain a motion to accept into the minutes.
So moved.
Second motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner McCam to accept the annual road reports into the Commissioners Court minutes. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 10, receive financial reports.
I did have one small question. The detailed report, that has been turned over to Mary Margaret, and that'll be filed along with the cover letter?
Yes, it will.
Okay.
Yes, it will. We have reports from all 5 JPs, and we have a report from the Indigent Health Program for the previous fiscal year. These will be for viewing in the clerk's office after court for anybody wishing to view them. Item 11, consider and take action on payroll distributions and accounts cash sheets.
Yes, Judge, I do have the payroll disbursement totals for bi-weekly number 20. I need to see that get approved.
Gentlemen? Questions, comments?
No questions, Judge.
Entertain a motion.
Move to approve bi-weekly 20.
Second motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner McCam to approve payroll distributions for bi-weekly 20. All those in favor? Item passes.
There is no cash sheet.
No cash sheets. All right. 12, consider and take action on submitted contracts. There you are. Item 13, consider and take action on request for right-of-way permits. No right-of-way. Item 14, consider and take action on submitted budget amendments.
We do have those this week.
Questions? Comments?
I have one little one. On the library, it's coded to elevator maintenance. What is that, the dumbwaiter? That's what it is?
Yeah, they're starting to check it regularly. It's working great.
I got all excited. I thought maybe while I was asleep one night, they put a real elevator in the library, and, and now we're going to start maintaining the library, the elevator we didn't have at the library, and I thought this was great. I didn't think until right now it could be $1,800 for the dumbwaiter. Okay. Thank you, Anne Marie. You made my day.
If you'll remember, when we did the contract on it, we finally got all 3, the 2 elevators and that, on the contract together to terminate at the same time, and actually was able to get a reduction. So let's hope it continues.
So we're moving books in the dumbwaiter again now, right?
Yes, and that's important.
That's good. Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Entertain a motion.
So moved to approve.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner Thomas to approve the budget amendments as presented. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 15, consider and take action on payment of bills.
Yes, sir. Those bills total for this week is $422,189.74.
Questions? Comments? Commissioner Thomas?
I have no questions.
Commissioner McCam?
I have none.
Commissioner Giesland?
Well, we got a big chunk of the first responders paid this week. About 75% of them, right?
Should be all of them.
Oh, did we pay some of them before? I didn't see LaRue, New York, and,
They didn't have any,
oh, really?
May not have qualified.
They may not have qualified this year, so everyone that qualified's been paid. So if they're not on here, they didn't qualify. Good to know.
that is my understanding.
Okay.
Any other comments?
I don't think so, Judge.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion we approve the bills as presented.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner McCam, to approve the bills in the amount of $422,189.74. All those in favor?
I have to say, you know, you're kind of slipping up there on that Spectre at the courthouse. That St. Augustine's getting expensive to maintain again. I guess it was that Uncle Fletch hamburger thing that rejuvenated. Where did they break all the control heads?
Keach Bynum Index is real high.
Oh, is that what it is? Well, at least we don't have a burn ban on the courthouse square.
All those in favor of the motion? Item passes. Item 16, consider and take action on submitted plats. No plats today. Item 17, open and consider bids.
No bids.
No bids. What time do we? 51.074 regarding personnel matters, namely interview applicants for the County Veterans Service Officer position. Gentlemen, we have individuals scheduled starting at 10 for interviews. Shall we convene at 10:15?
Yeah.
Entertain that motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Giesland to convene into executive session at 10:15. Thank you all very much. All those in favor? Item passes. We'll see y'all in a little while. Give me that back. Okay, it is 12:08. We have a motion to move back into open session.
Oh, so moved?
I'll second. I'm sorry.
Motion made by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner McCam to reconvene into open session. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 19, consider and take action on issues related to personnel matters discussed. We held interviews with 4 applicants for the Veterans Service Officer position. And at this point in time, we can take action if we desire. Is there an action to be made?
I'd like to make a motion that we put Jordan Parker into this position for veterans. The veterans part-time job. That it? Is that what it is?
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner McCam to appoint Ms. Jordan Parker as the Veterans Service Officer for Henderson County. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Item passes. Item 20, consider and take action to adjourn.
I move that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Thomas to adjourn. All those in favor? Item passes. Thank you very much.
Now these